And thank you, everybody, for joining. Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see all of you here today. Parents, students, teachers gathered with one shared purpose to look ahead at the exciting possibilities that await our children. A very warm welcome to all of our students and parents of classes of class 10 from Sherwood and Heritage Valley. Thank you so much for being with us. This is the first in a series of sessions that we're going to do to further enable our students and our parent community. My name is Anuj Kurwara. I'm doing my best to shoulder the responsibility of leading our two schools after the passing of our beloved founder director, Mr. Y.K. Kurwara. His vision continues to guide everything we do to nurture confident, compassionate, and capable individuals who make a difference to the world. We're also joined today by our principals, Mr. Pradeep Mistry from Heritage Valley, the Indian School, and Ms. Papia Chaudhary from Sherwood Public School, and our teachers whose constant dedication and love shape the everyday experiences of our children. Together, we are continuing to be committed to carrying forward the legacy of excellence and care that our schools stand for. Of course, before we begin, a few quick notes to make the session smooth for everyone. Please keep your microphones muted throughout the session. You can keep your cameras on if you wish. It is always lovely to see smiling faces, but that's entirely your choice. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box after the session begins. Our team will collect them and share them with the speakers. And in case there are any technical issues, just post the message on the chat and we'll try and help you right away. Now, like I said, we're very excited to organize this webinar for all of you to also introduce Lodestar, a well-known career guidance organization from Bengaluru. Lodestar has guided over 60,000 students from more than 300 schools across India, helping families make career and education decisions in a scientific and practical and a structured way. Now, why this session? Because today, career planning means something very different from what it meant 10, 15, or even 5 years ago. The whole world has changed since the pandemic. The definitions of career and success and life have changed. In our generation, most of us made decisions based on marks and family advice or what seemed like a safe option amongst the limited options that were available. The running joke was that for a whole generation of India, you could do anything as long as it was engineering or medicine. But the world has changed. New careers, new skills, new industries are emerging every single year. And these are professions today that did not even exist when we were in school or college. In fact, in the 5 years that have passed after the pandemic, there is a whole spectrum of professions and occupations and specializations that we never even imagined could exist. And these will continue to evolve as we go forward in the age of AI. Now, for our children, choosing the right path is not just about marks, it's about self-awareness. It's about helping them discover what they love, what they are good at, and what truly excites them. Now, when that happens, work stops feeling like pressure. It becomes purpose. And that is where Lodestar's guidance comes in to help us. It's scientific, it's structured, and it's deeply personalized. Instead of guesswork or peer pressure or asking limited people with limited awareness, Lodestar's approach gives us clarity on the kind of pathways and options and opportunities that are available ahead. Now, of course, for class 10 students, this is the perfect time because the stream choice that these students will soon make will shape the next few years of their learning journey. This is a very, very crucial time for them to make this decision of what they're going to pursue ahead. Someone once said, don't ask your children what they want to be when they grow up. Ask them what problems they want to solve. That question opens up a world of imagination because it shifts focus from careers to contribution to society, and then building a whole ecosystem of success around it. So today, let's open our minds to new possibilities. Let's move beyond what's familiar and discover the very wide, endless world of opportunities that are waiting for our children. Careers that value creativity, empathy, innovation, critical thinking, and the courage to think differently. We're, of course, excited, we're hopeful, we're very proud to bring this session to you. So sit back, listen closely, and by the end of this hour, hopefully, you will see the future not as something to be worried or scared about, but as something to plan for with confidence and clarity. So I'd like to now hand over the stage or the screen to the experts from Lodestar Career Guidance and get started. Mr. Murli and Ms. Ramya, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Anuj, for that fantastic introduction. I think we couldn't have done it any better. I think you sort of, in a few words, but very, very appropriately captured the essence of today's session and the importance of the session. Thank you. Really appreciate this opportunity by the Sherwood Public School and the Heritage Valley School. At the outset, our heartfelt condolences on the passing away of your founder chairman. I think the founder chairman has laid the roots of a fantastic institution, and now it's for all of us to jointly take this forward. A warm welcome to the parents, students of both the schools. Really happy to be here today. And to share with you some of our experiences and thoughts about career guidance and career planning. This is going to be a talk for about 35-40 minutes, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So you'll have ample opportunity to ask all your doubts, questions. I'm sure parents and students at this age group are really, at the cusp of a transition and at the cusp of many confusions in your minds, many thoughts in your minds, many open questions in your minds. And that's what Lodestar helps to solve. I'm joined by my colleague Ramya. Ramya is our knowledge manager and one of our senior most guidance counselors. She's an expert and she works with parents day in and day out. When she's not in a session like this, she's counseling some students. So, that's the kind of in-depth experience she has. Um, so we'll begin now. I'll share my screen and then maybe, as I said, take you through a few sessions. Before I just start, wanted to know how many all the parents who've joined. Maybe you could just put a quick message on the chat saying that. I just want to know how many students are there, how many parents are there. So maybe all the parents can just put a quick hi on the chat.
All the parents can just do a quick hi
Quick
and
hi.
just a hello. You can just type in so we know
Yeah,
how many of you are here. And it's lovely to
yeah,
see so many of them from both the schools who have come in.
absolutely. And we also, yeah, get to just quickly know you and then start a conversation. Ramya, you're also a parent. You can also say hi. Okay, nice. Nice to see you all. Okay. So as we go through that, yeah, I'm seeing many names. Yeah, Ramya, there I see you. Yeah. Okay, nice. Cool. So what I'll do now is I'll just share my screen and I'll sort of begin my brief talk. What we're going to do today is we are going to talk of three things. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So, as Mr. Anuj said, this session is titled Scientific Career Planning in the 21st Century. A, because we're in the 21st century and we're guiding students for the future. Students that we're talking about are really in the 10th standard, and maybe even after about 5 to 6 years, they're going to come into the workforce. So it's really about the future. And second thing is this whole process needs to be done scientifically, right? That we agree that it can't be, as Anuj said, it can't be guesswork, and it can't be just some neighbor or somebody telling us what to do, because it's really about the future of our kids, right? That's the whole point. What we'll do today is we'll cover three aspects. We'll talk about the need for career guidance. We'll talk about some of the scientific principles for career guidance. And we're also going to take a look at all the wide variety of new age options that are available. This session is primarily scheduled for a maximum of about 50 minutes to an hour. So we'll do the best job we can do to cover these three topics. But this should get parents and students really get some of the basic fundamentals about how to take this guidance forward, right? Just one sec. Yeah. So quickly about Lodestar, as was introduced, we are a company which is a specialist in career guidance, and we have in the last about 8 9 years we've guided about 60,000 students in deep one-on-one guidance processes. Apart from the various hundreds of seminars and webinars we do. And these 60,000 students have come from close to 300 plus schools across the country. We've had a very high satisfaction rate in terms of our process. More than 90% of our process of the parents tell us that they could make a decision and that they had a great experience. See, as counselors, we can give you guidance, we can give student guidance, but the student saying or the parent affirming that they move from a position of confusion to clarity, that's the real, important thing. The founders, I'm one of the founders. The founders are a bunch of people who have worked in the industry and in education for a long time prior to starting Lodestar. So we bring in a lot of relevant experience to do this kind of work, right? This quick snapshot of the number of many school children from many of these schools who've taken this thing. Largely, I think to indicate also that the program works for different boards, different kind of strata of schools and parents and all that. So it's a wide application and it's worked well with many parents, right? And as I said, this is what we're going to cover in the next 40 45 minutes, right? If you have any questions as we're talking, you can just post them in the chat. My colleague Ramya will also help us to answer. So the first thing that we'll consider is why career guidance. See, it's while on a very general basis we understand, right? We are in 10, then we need to do this scientifically and all that. But honestly speaking, we as parents, we as when we were like 20 30 years ago when we were children, we never got career guidance or anything, right? We just chose streams, careers that people, friends chose or neighbors chose or whatever, right? So why is it then important today, right? And Anuj alluded to some part of it, but I'll maybe try to because unless it's really important, why are we even wanting to spend that time? That's the important question for parents. Some of you may already have some doubts and questions, so you may be naturally thinking, yeah, it's important. But some of you in this who are listening to this talk are much wondering why are we making such a big thing about it. Also, the other dimension is that career is very distant. It's maybe 7 8 years away. And these students are just going to write the board exam. So why are we talking of career guidance, right? These are two things. So that's why we'll talk about this. Uh, I'm sure all of you know this fact that the world is changing. You all agree with me? We can say yes on the group, right? You all agree the world is changing, right? All of us are living in a very changed world today. Many things that we do, we were not doing 10 years ago and 15 years ago. Even before the coming of AI, we were living in a changed world, correct? For example, the way we buy food, the way we do shopping, the way we travel, the kind of apps that we use, everything has changed about the world, correct? It's absolutely different. But especially for the parents, this question is for the parents. Just think about it, right? Though we lived in a very changed world, and many of us as parents are actually contributing to the changing world, that we are in companies and technologies where we are leading this change. We are trying to, change the way the world is very, very differently. While the world is changing, would you agree that the way we do discussions with our children about career guidance is really stuck in the past? It's very, very like we're doing discussions about careers with children in a very old-fashioned way, right? So one of the first things for parents and even for students to realize is that the world has dramatically changed, and that you're looking at careers in the future, which means even more further change. And hence, the old formulas of looking at careers and deciding on streams and subjects cannot be valid, right? Not fully valid, at least. You need to look at a different way to do it. Now, to illustrate how dramatically this changes, I'll just take one example. For example, today, if you open any paper, you'll see that the whole world is about technology. Agreed? Correct? Everywhere there's the whole world, technology, math, data. These are the words you hear. Absolutely correct. Now, and especially if you talk to any business leader, any CEO, they will say the entire world. Today, people are even saying AI. AI will take over the entire world. Correct. So they're saying, so everywhere you say it's data, AI, math, technology, etc., etc., etc. Which means the world is completely filled with technology, data, math. This is the impression that one gets, right? So if you're a student in this world, right, or if as a parent you have a child who's in 10th, which you have, and the child, and obviously, what is the fundamental subject to get into this world of technology and all that, right? What is the fundamental subject which you should be good at? Uh, that's math, correct? That's what people think, that if you're good at math, then you can crack this world of technology. You can be a great person in this world of technology. Correct? Yes or no? Yes. Agreed? Right. But let's assume you are a student in this world and you're not so good at math. You're okay. You're maybe about 60, 70%. You're not like a champion in math, right? You're not the 90 percenter, right? So, does it mean that this world in the future is close to you? Because the world, every activity is getting technology infused today, right? If that is the case, it's full of technology and all technologies are ruling the world. They're succeeding jobs, etc. Then, if you're weak in math, does it mean that that you'll not be successful in this world? That's the impression you get, right? That's what I hear when I've been to talk to parents. They're very worried, right? If and they want that. That's why a lot of children are taking up, coding courses, robotic courses, because if we are thinking like this, right? Now, tell me, is there any job in the world of technology, core, hardcore software development? Let's not even say, which is related, which is not math related. That is, if you're not a math person, you can still be doing that job and be successful at the job. Is there any job like that? And I'm sure when I ask this question, you must be thinking HR, sales. I'm not looking at those kind of jobs. I'm saying core, hardcore software development, right? In software development, obviously, you should be good at math and science, correct? Yes, right? But so is there any job in the core software development process which has nothing to do with math and science? I'll pause for a minute, think about it. Is there any job like that you can think about? I'm not able to fully see the chat screen because I'm on a different mode, but yeah. Ramya, are you seeing any answers? Any job in the core software development I talked about, which has nothing to do with math and science?
No, there are no responses.
No, okay, okay, okay. So there is a job. There is a job like that, which has nothing to do with math and science, but which is core software development. What is this? This is a job called user experience designing. It's there on the screen on the left side, UX design, right? This is the job. Now, what is user experience design? Let me just tell you in a very brief way. All of us use apps. We use things like Ola, Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra. We use these apps, correct? Right? For our daily Swiggy, we use, correct? Now, if you open an app, don't you feel that it's beautifully designed? And when I say beautifully designed, not only the color and look of it, but how the information in the app is organized, how each of the buttons are organized, correct? It's beautifully designed. It's very organized, right? It all the right information is there. The moment you open the app, all the right notifications are there, correct? If you're opening the app in the morning, then Swiggy will show you one kind of food. If you're doing it in the afternoon, it will show you another kind of food. You agree? That's how the app is designed, right? Now, this design is not by accident. This company didn't do this just by accident. They did it because some very smart people actually spent time understanding who the customer is, understanding why this app is being created, understanding who will use the app and how will they use the app. Is the app user a youngster? Is it a middle-aged person? Is it a very old, a slightly older person? They thought about that. For example, if you look at an app like Ola or Uber, they have two versions of it. One is for the rider and one is for the driver. Correct? The rider's app will have different features, the driver's app will have different features, and the flow will be different. And when you click on any button on it, it goes to the right next page. Correct? It goes to the right information, and you can finish your task on the app very quickly. Any of these apps, right? That whole work is called user experience designing or user experience work, right? Now, this is a work which does not require math, or you don't have to be necessarily strong in math and science, right? What are the skills required for this? You need to be creative. Maybe you need to be able to understand customers, right? You may be able to, you should be a good thinker, a logical thinker. So different skills, correct? But this work is very crucial. Large companies like Amazon, etc., would spend millions of dollars on getting the UX of their app correct. In fact, in today's world, if you've got the user experience and UI wrong, then your app is going to bomb, or your software is going to bomb. And it's not only for apps, but it's also for other B2B software. Today, this is the one of the most important things. And the way software development happens today is that the company thinks of a strategy, then the user experience guys get into the job and they first design this whole flow. What is the app supposed to do? How is it supposed to function? They design that. And after that, the super smart software engineers will come and develop the code, which means the user experience guys' work is even more important than they are leading the work, right? Now, what are the skill sets for this? As I said, creativity, these are people. Uh, for example, the people who do user experience today in the world, they've done masters in fine arts. They've done design degrees. They've not done software development, or they've not done engineering degree. Okay. Google recently put out an ad for recruiting for its user experience team, and they asked for PhD in psychology to apply for that. Why? Because a psychology person will understand the customer's mind, understand how the customer thinks, and be able to help the team design this user experience, the flow of the app correctly. Got it? So now, if you're in 10th and if you're thinking that I'm weak in math, I'm only 60%, then there are two routes for you. One is you take extra coaching, try to improve on your math, which you should do because you have to write the board exam. But if you're inherently not so, if math is not native to you, if you're inherently, it's not inherent to you, you will never be the champion in that. But if you're great at understanding customers, designing, can you still be a part of the technology world? Yes. Can you still work in Google? Yes. Can you still work in a Microsoft? Can you still work in OpenAI? Can you still do work at ChatGPT? Yes. Because you will do work in that area with your strength. What is your strength? Your strength is your strength is design, your strength is creativity, your strength could be language, your strength could be thinking about customers. That is your strength. So that is how dramatically the world has changed. Today, while the entire world of technology looks full of science and math and etc., but still there are unique and amazing roles like this where you can get into that domain or that field by your strength. Okay, this is one quick example. The second example I'll say is about sports. Many of you may be playing sports, correct? Or maybe interested in playing sports. Some of you may have played at some competitive level, at school level, etc. Typically, when we ask students who play sports or their parents, what are the career they're thinking of is first they will say, I'll become a player. But for at least 80% of them, by the age of 10th, 11th, playing is becoming a player is not very feasible because they've not really reached that level or whatever. So they will say that, okay, I'll drop out now, I'll do engineering, I'll do medicine, I'll do something else, I'll do law, I'll do some other degree, correct? So for 10, 15 years, you thought about playing one sport, whatever sport that is. You're very passionate, but suddenly now you're saying you'll become an engineer. For a student, that is very, very difficult. Yeah, I was still today, morning, evening, I used to go for practice. I was get up at 4 o'clock. I was doing all this. But suddenly you're trying to tell me I should do coding, I should become a mechanical engineer, chemical engineer, or I should become a doctor. Very, very different world, correct? It's very, very disturbing. But in the world of sports, what careers can be there? Is playing the only career? No. Today, there are a plethora of careers in the world of sports, right? For example, sports plus math, what can you do? You can become a sports analyst. Sports plus bio, what can you do? You can become a sports doctor. Sports plus chemistry and biology, or what can you do? You can become a sports nutritionist. Sports plus, again, bio, you can become a sports physiotherapist. Sports plus ability to communicate, you can become a sports marketing person or sports business person. Today all these roles are very, very real. Like IPL, which is a big league, maybe there are 10 teams and 20 people in every team, totally 200 people playing. But in the whole world of IPL, maybe 10,000 people are working. The support staff, the people who build the teams, people. Each team is like a company, right? There's a VP marketing there, right? So these are our people. So these are people who are all passionate about sports. All 10,000 love the sport, right? They maybe have played sports in their college, school, etc. But yes, they could not become players, but they're getting other careers, and many of them are very, very well played, right? Many people from even IIMs are joining some of these companies in marketing, branding, all those jobs, right? That so this is how, and I'll pause here about this topic. This is how dramatically the world is changing. Okay. So I wanted to tell these stories a bit because you should understand this very well and you should understand the importance of career planning in the new world, right? The world has really changed. And if you're not thinking about it proactively, if you're thinking about careers in the old way, standard way, then your children and the students here will miss out a huge amount of opportunities. Okay. While this big thing is there, what are some of the specific reasons why career guidance could become important for you? One is you could be, confused about your degree to take. Two, you could be unsure about your interests. What are they like? Okay. So in 10th, specifically, you're making decisions. So this is some of the reasons why this could be required for you. Sometimes students are also unmotivated and underperforming. And when we meet students like that, parents say that, the student's not studying well, why don't you motivate him to study? But typically what happens is the student who's in 10th or maybe even 11th or whatever is not understanding why should I study this subject? What is the importance of this? And as humans, if we don't understand the reason, maybe a small percentage students, 4 5%, are just able to study without any reason. Correct? They're able to just open the book, read the book, and just study. But everybody is not able to do that. Right? For many of them, they need to understand, why should I study harder? Okay, why should I spend effort to do this? See, studies is not easy. Correct? Studies is tough. You have to spend a lot of effort to learn something, learn, all the subjects, etc. Right? Whatever. And some of the subjects are boring also, right? So that's why underperformance comes in. But actually, the reason is because the child is not able to understand the reason that why I should study. In our counseling, when we meet students like this, and when we've done counseling, we've seen that once the students connect to the reason why they are studying this, why, if I study this, what will happen later? What will I get? What will happen later is not that I'll get better marks or whatever, but what kind of a life I can lead, what kind of a career I can lead. And if they like that career, then they'll study hard. See, if a student wants to definitely become a doctor, he or she will not hesitate to study at all. If a student wants to become an architect, a student wants to become an entrepreneur, he or she will, if they are motivated, they'll definitely study and do everything required for that. Correct? That's how it happens. And we have seen this in practical, actual this thing. Many times you would have decided what to do, but you may have second thoughts, etc. Right? That could be a reason. You may have decided, yeah, broadly we know this is the career, but still 10% doubt is there. So a scientific career guidance process also helps you there. Some parents have say that, okay, we don't have any doubts, we don't have any confusions, our child is not under motivated or underperforming, but we just want to do this guidance in a scientific process, and that's why we look for career guidance, right? Instead of we ourselves deciding, instead of we ourselves listening to some friends, neighbors deciding, we want to do this, correct? One of the most important reasons, the first one there is stream confusion. You're in 10th, you're really looking at what stream to choose: science, commerce, arts. In science, what subject combination to choose, whether you want to choose the math combination, the bio combination, or choose both if it's available in a school, what combination to choose. This is a very important decision. And many times people think that this is simple. If I'm good at a subject, I'll take it. But it's not so simple, because many students in a simple way to choose some subjects to some degree, later they decide that, oh, why did I 6 years study all this? I should not, I wanted to become something else. I want to, that's why after graduation, many, maybe 40-50% of the students change their path. That's the reason. So it's not just a simple stream decision, it's a decision which impacts your future. So that is one big reason. Okay. This whole thing, because you're in 10th and we're talking of career guidance, right? You may think that still we're not able to understand how this is linked to the future, right? Right now, just choose a stream, do well, then you decide what to do. Then after the degree, then you'll decide what to do. So it's like a sequential process. But actually, it is not. You need to think of your long-term goal first and then choose the right stream. So I'll give you this example. Suppose a child is interested in clothing and fashion. Okay. In a traditional way, what are the career you'll think of? Fashion design, correct? You'll think of doing fashion designing, for which arts could be the stream in 11th and 12th. And you'll write the design aptitude test for any of the fashion related institutes, correct? That's what you do. But actually, in the area of fashion design is not the only career. That is the first understanding that you need to have. Fashion designing is only one career. There is fashion technology. There is textile engineering. There is fashion business, right? There are many careers. In fact, I've just put 4 on the slide. There are maybe 6, 7 types of careers here. There's fashion communication. Today, the world is very complex. Any of these fashion brands or this, they're gigantic companies. Today, India exports a lot of textiles and fashion to the world. So it's a mega industry, right? And there are many things. Now, if you observe each of these are very different kind of a career. All of them are linked to fashion. So basic interest in clothing and fashion is required. But apart from that, the skills required for each one of them is different. So if you look at the slide below, data below will tell you that fashion designing, you need to be arts, you need to write the NID entrance exam. But fashion technology is like a BTech degree. For which the stream should be science, not arts. So suppose you're interested in fashion and you thought, okay, I'll drop science in 11th and 12th, then you would have made a fundamental mistake if you cannot get into fashion technology at all, right? So similarly, textile engineering is a BTech degree. Now today, VIT, for example, offers a fashion technology degree like that. So big colleges today are offering these degrees. Fashion business management, you can go through science, arts, and commerce, all three. But because it's a business management kind of a degree later, a commerce would be a better stream in 11th and 12th, right? So this is how, and the entrance exams you write will be different. So this is how a simple decision of stream is connected to your actual future career. So now if you did not know this, if you just thought that, okay, I'll just choose one stream, I'll drop some stream, I'll choose some subject, I'll drop some subject, then you could be fundamentally stuck in your degree or entrance exam later or in your career. You may have made the wrong choice, right? I'll give you another example of this. For example, in science, we think that typically most students think that engineering and medicine are two paths, correct? And these are the entrance exam to write, and there are many careers linked to that, correct? But actually, that's not true. Science today has many streams, many paths. Okay. There is pure science, there is statistics and data science, there's architecture and design. Now, important thing if in the slide you have to observe is the entrance exams for all of them are very different. Correct? So, and when are you going to write this entrance exam? You're going to write the entrance exam in 12th. Correct? So you're in 10th, you're making a decision about 11th stream. If you blindly, without thinking of the entrance exam, okay, just make some decision, then you will be sitting in the wrong coaching center. For example, if you're a science student, but you actually could have succeeded in the science, in statistics and data science, then you should be writing an exam called the tomato exam. This is an exam for entry into the Indian Institute of Statistics, which is a premier college, which is like the IIT for statistics and data science. You should be able to writing that exam. But because you did not think about it, if you're just sitting in a normal JEE or engineering entrance exam coaching, right? Then you're not even preparing for the right exam. It is like you wanted to go to Kashmir, but you're sitting in a train or a flight going to Kanyakumari. It's like that. But you're happy. You're thinking that you're sitting in a train or on a plane where I'm in some coaching. I'm doing some coaching, entrance coaching. By coaching, I mean tutorials, entrance exam coaching. Okay. Akash, Alan, that kind of physics wala, that's what I'm talking about, right? So you will be doing the wrong coaching. Similarly, if your actual skill is becoming an architect or a product designer, and there are many courses for this even in IITs, for which the entrance exam is very different. If you're writing the JEE entrance exam, you'll never get into those courses in IITs that way. The exam you have to write is NATA, UCEED, those exams you have to write, right? So and these exams all happen in 11th, 12th. Okay. Similarly for commerce typically children think CA and MBA are the both routes, right? But there are many, many routes now, like actuarial sciences, again, data sciences route through the commerce route, company secretary, financial journalism, many routes are there for which again, there are relevant entrance exams in 12th, right? So that's the important thing. So if you're just sitting for wrong coaching, that it will not work out at all, right? And typically after 10th, 11th and 12th, most students are seriously preparing for some entrance exam. That is why this discussion is important. Okay. Similarly for arts. Now arts, most people think there are very few careers. What? I will just do some degree. No. There are many entrance exams for many important careers in colleges in the arts field also. Like typically art students think law and design are two careers, but there are many others. Management, hospitality, like that. Right? Many career streams are available. Okay. And in fact, like for example, in management, which is MBA, most people think that you can become an MBA after doing graduation, you have to write the CAT exam or some MBA entrance exam. That's true. That is one route. But today there are many IIMs also which offer a 5-year integrated MBA degree, which means after 12th standard itself, you can get into an IIM for which there is an exam, right? So that exam happens at the end of 12th standard, right? So if you are not aware of it only, but your whole life you are very clear that I want to become a marketing manager, sales manager, entrepreneur, finance manager, like management stream. That's what I don't want to be just a coder. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to be a management guy. If that is the case, then you should have written the entrance exam in 12th itself and got into a great IIM, right? That's one opportunity that otherwise you would have missed, right? So this is the point we're trying to make. So that is why a good decision now, a well thought out decision at the end of 10th is very important because you have to be in the right stream, you have to prepare for the right entrance exam, and you should know what entrance exam to prepare. And you'll only know what entrance exam to prepare if you're clear about what career you want to be. You can't just prepare for all exams, right? That strategy will not work because you can't be a master of all. It'll never work like that. You'll be a jack of all and master of none that way, right? So you got to be, and most of the students who crack these entrance exams are students who are very focused, who know exactly what entrance exam they're writing, why are they writing, and they're motivated and they're preparing for it hard, right? That brings me to the whole thing about entrance exams, correct? Now, all of us know there's a lot of competition in India, correct? But the extent of competition, sometimes we miss out. So let me share some data. For example, medical. 18 lakh children wrote the entrance exam last year for only 1.2 lakh seats. And out of the 1.2 lakh seats, only 55,000 are in government. Okay, which is the not the highly paid seats, correct? So this is how the competition is. Now, who are the 1.2 lakh students who cracked it? They're the best prepared. They're also talented, but they're the best prepared. These 1.2 lakh students in 11th and 12th worked very hard. How can you work very hard? You can only work if you're motivated. If you are in two minds, should I become a doctor? Should I not become a doctor? Okay, even if I do become a doctor, I'm okay. If you're in that kind of a mindset, you can't prepare really hard. When you open any tough problem in physics or math or physics or chemistry in your thing, or some detailed thing you're reading in bio, your mind will wander, correct? So that is why that focus will only come if you're clear. JE again, 8 lakh students wrote the exam. And JE advanced exam, about 2.5 lakh students qualified that they wrote. And the number of seats in IITs is only 15, 16,000. Yes, through the JE exam, through JE mains exam, you can get admission to many other colleges also. But still, the overall seats are maybe about 1.5, 2 lakhs. That's all. So 8 lakh students or 10 lakh students, 8 writing, 2 lakh student for 2 lakh seats. That's the competition. Now, is this only for medical entrance? No, even for the MBA entrance exam, for the IIMs, for the integrated 5-year course, there are about 30 to 40,000 students who write that exam. And the number of seats there are only 750. Law, which is a hot career today, right? There are about 3,000 seats and about 80,000 to 1 lakh people are writing the exam. So this is just a sample. Now, if you look at any entrance exam, design, course, anything, it is the same. And why are we talking about these nationalized exams? Because these exams get you entry into the best colleges. That's how your career also takes off. If you are saying that, oh, I don't want to do all this, I just want to be in any average college, then honestly, you don't even need career guidance. Then you're not even thinking seriously about your career. But if you're thinking seriously about your and your child's career, then obviously any serious student and parent will focus on some of these exams. And the children, we have repeatedly observed, and any coaching institute person also will tell you that the students are focused, who know why they're sitting for the exam, who are motivated, are the ones who will put the effort and will clear. So that is why, and this is the reality of competition, correct? So this situation for anything, CA Foundation, UC, NATA, any exam you take, this is the reality, right? So you can't be casually attempting this. That's the point we're saying. And to be serious, you need to have decided. You need to be sure. You can't say I will write the medical entrance exam and engineering entrance exam and law exam. Nobody prepares like you're preparing for Olympic. Nobody prepares for 100 meters and marathon together, right? Nobody does that, right? That way. Or you're not playing cricket and hockey and basketball together. All the champions, people who really succeed are people who focus their effort on one kill, right? So we talked about the why of career guidance, why it's important, why I think we talked about multiple factors about how new age careers are there, competition, the stream selection, and the importance of deciding for the entrance exam. Now let's focus on how to choose correctly, right? So why, maybe I hope you guys have understood a little bit how to choose correctly. Now let's assume you're going on a vacation, and I really want now some of you to type in the chat here, right? And if you're going on a vacation, then what do you decide first? What's the first decision you take? Ramya, are you getting any answers?
Yeah, people are saying where exactly to go, place, date, distance, and how to
Yeah,
go.
Correct. So you understood, no? If you have to go, even plan some simple thing like a holiday, you first decide where to go. The where to go may be influenced by the budget, but still you have to decide where to go with the same budget, correct? Once you decide where to go, then you can really plan the journey and you can plan everything else. For example, if you're going to for a foreign trip to say Europe, then you'll obviously book tickets only by flight. You'll not book by train, correct? If you're going to say a hill station where there is no maybe air connectivity or whatever, you will obviously drive there. If you're going to Kashmir, then you're going to plan to take cold, warm clothes. If you're going to Goa, okay, or you're going to a beach like Pondicherry kind of a thing, then you'll take different beach wear, correct? So your whole planning depends on the destination, where you go. Correct? You will not do it the other way. No? You will not just buy some, you will not go to the travel website and buy some ticket and just, or you will not take out your car and just start driving and then decide where to go. Correct? You don't do that. So, in a simple thing like holiday, the destination is very important. Correct? But in education, typically we do it the other way around. Just think about it carefully. Think about it for a minute. We do it the other way around. We don't decide the destination, we decide the path first. We first decide what stream, then we decide what degree, and then after finishing degree, 60% of students are thinking, okay, now what should I do in my life? Okay, that's how they're thinking, right? And this is very true. We have actually worked with thousands, lakhs of such students. We know this is the reality, and this is a big problem in our education system also. So, what is the correct way of decision making according to Lodestar? We are saying first decide the career, okay? Then decide the education path for that career. So, career is the goal, the destination. Career is the work you will do. Career is not the degree. Like becoming a doctor, doctor is a career. MBBS is a degree. Architect is the career. Architecture, B architecture is the degree. Finance manager is the career. For that, MBA finance is the degree. So career is different, degree is different, right? So to first decide the career and for that work out the right education path. Now to decide the career, there's one important thing input that is required. What is that? That important thing is knowing yourself. This is the most important starting point. I think Mr. Anuj also mentioned this about of knowing being aware of yourself. Honestly, as career guidance experts, we'll say this is the most important thing because you're not deciding the career for somebody else. Like the parents are not deciding the career for themselves. Okay. Or you're not deciding the career based on your friend. You're deciding your career. So you should know yourself. It is your career, and the first starting point is understanding yourself. So understand yourself, decide the career, and then the education decision. Okay. Typically, whenever I make this presentation, and so from today onwards, when you're thinking about your future, the question to ask your children or the students, the question to ask themselves is not what degree I'll do. That's the wrong question. You should think about what career I'll do. You should not say, I will study engineering. That is the study part. That get over in 4 years. You should say what I will do. I will become a software developer. I will become a coder. I will become an environmental scientist. I will become a robotics engineer. That is the work you will do. For that, the degree in robotics or mechanical or electronics that you have to do. Correct? So understood the difference between the work and the degree. Correct? I will become a fashion designer. That's the work. I will become a lawyer. That's the work. For becoming a lawyer, you have to do the law degree. So don't say I will join law course. Yeah, that is the next step. Agreed. But that is not your big decision. So first decide on the career. Now to decide to understand yourself, what are the key parameters you should know? You should think of three things: personality, interest, and aptitude. Now, in your school, you're getting a lot of inputs on your marks, teachers are telling you marks in various subjects, etc. Out of these three circles, where is that? What is that? That marks is all the aptitude. That is the aptitude you have. So the other two factors are personality and interest. So what is personality? Personality is who you are as a person. Okay. Interest is what you like, and aptitude is what you're good at. So for example, I am a very curious person. Okay. Or I am a very friendly person. That's my personality. Interest, I am interested in cricket or I am interested in cooking. Aptitude, I'm good at English, I'm good at speaking to people, convincing people, or I'm good at solving problems. Correct? So personality is different, interest is different, aptitude is different. Right? All the three are very, very important in making a decision, and a combination of the three is very important. I'll give you one example to communicate this. For example, if you're super good at, say, some math, science subject, like so super good at physics, super good, which means you are able to crack the physics Olympiad and things like that, right? If you're able to crack that, what happens? You will think of becoming one of the career options is become a scientist, correct? Astrophysicist, people say fancy things like that, right? Now, what is the personality required to be a scientist? One of the core personality traits to be a scientist is to be patient and determined and perseverant. Why? Because doing any research takes time, and in the process of research, you keep failing, not like normal work, right? Science work, typically, you keep experimenting and keep failing. So, if you don't have the personality of persisting, of keep trying, and then you can't be a scientist, right? You may be the best in physics, you may know the subject well, which is the aptitude, but your personality, if it's not of that type, of being determined, of being patient, you cannot be a scientist. Okay, this, if you talk to scientists, they tell you that science is not for people who want like 3-month results, 6-month results. No. Many science, anything, bio, chemistry, math, any research thing takes time, 3 years, 5 years. So unless you have the long-term thinking, and that's a personality thing. A kid who is impatient will always be impatient. You can't suddenly change them. Correct that way. So similarly, for every career, there's the right personality that's required. And that's very, very important. In fact, as career guidance experts, out of the three factors, personality, interest, and aptitude, we focus more on personality than even aptitude. Because a lot of HR theory says that you can pick up skills, aptitude and skills you can pick up. You may slightly weak in some subject, you can pick up. But if you don't have the right personality, you can't change your personality. If you don't have the right personality, you can't get into that career at all. Okay, so it's not only about marks. I'm not saying, and Anuj and the principals will be unhappy, but I'm not saying that marks are not important. You have to write your 10th board, you have to get good marks. But the decision about career is not only about marks. You have to be sure about your personality and interest also. Okay. So this is the couple of things about how to make a quick decision. Now let's quickly go through the world of options, right? What are the various options? Now, as I said, there are more than 2000 plus careers. And at Lodestar itself, we have information on 300 plus careers. Today in this session, which is just a 1 hour session, we can't go into the details of all careers. But what we'll do is we'll just show you a snapshot to open up your minds to say that there are so many careers available, and so that you understand the new age careers available. Now let's look at the science careers first. Okay. Engineering is one common career path. Now, one of the common things in engineering is most students know only 3, 4 engineering career names. They'll know computer science, electronics, information technology, AI, ML, something like that. But in engineering, there are more than 50 different engineering branches. And many of them are very, very important for the future. For example, robotics, mechatronics, aerospace. Today, India is really booming in aerospace and space. So that's a very great aeronautical. Okay. Things like food technology, things like environmental engineering. Today, the government is with EVs and all that, it is green hydrogen and all that thing. Government is really supporting a lot of environmental technology. So, a lot of environmental technology people are required. Biotechnology. Okay. Then there are some unique branches like ceramic engineering. Now, ceramic engineering is an old branch, almost forgotten. Okay. But ceramic engineering is a branch linked to semiconductors, and semiconductors is really becoming important. Okay. So things like that. So there are unique branches. So even if you're thinking of engineering, it's a career, you're very sure, be open-minded, think about the relevant branches, and many of these branches are branches of the future. Don't get just stuck saying that everybody is doing software, I'll also become software engineer. No, because you may be suited to software, you may not be suited to software. If you're suited to be a software engineer and you love that work, you should definitely become a software engineer. I'm not against any branch, but I'm just saying there are so many very good options available. Correct? And that is what you should. And these engineering branches are really required in the real world, and there are jobs for them, right? So, but if you're interested in science and maths, but you're not interested in engineering, then what are the careers? Then also there are a lot of careers. For example, pure science, careers like material scientist, okay, geologist, toxicologist, biochemist, bioinformatics, so many careers are there. These are all real careers, and there are courses specifically for them. Then in the design field, there are careers like UX design, chip design, industrial design, automobile design. Automobile engineering is different, automobile design is different. Architecture, these are careers. You can also get into the armed forces. Today, the armed forces is full of technology. So many people in the armed forces do technology work. They don't go and just fight. Okay, so commercial pilot, many of these things are available, right? Which is through the science route, and then you can get into generic careers also. Okay, now look at bio. Bio also has many options. On the top, on the left hand side, there you could see the careers which are NEET related, NEET exam, doctor, dentist, surgeon, Ayurveda doctor, veterinarian. But there are a lot of allied health careers like speech and language therapy, audiology, radiation therapists. These are all specialist careers in the medical field, in the hospital field, which have specialized degrees, but which are not through the NEET exam. You have to do a bachelor's, master's in speech and language therapy, in audiology, in radiation therapy, like that. And these are all employed in big hospitals. They're good, valid careers. These are all technical, highly valid careers. There's a huge list of pure science in the middle bucket, like genetics. Genetics is a big booming field. So geneticists, microbiologists, toxicologists. What do toxicologists do? Every food product that is launched has to be tested for its toxicity, whether there is any poisonous element there. And companies are constantly launching food products, right? So toxicologists work on that. They are employed by many food companies, hotels, chains like that to test. And there are many labs for this. Forensic science is a very big field today, especially with the new law, the police code that has got launched now. Forensic, this thing is mandatory for every crime. Okay, data is mandatory for every crime, like that. There are a lot of like zoologists, animal scientists, environmental scientists. Environmental engineer is different, environmental science is different. So through the science route. So, and there are also careers like hospital administration, which is an MBA in hospital management. Okay, so there are many careers like this, right? Now, for people in commerce also, typically people were thinking of accounting, auditing, which are standard careers, but they're careers in finance. Finance is a world of raising funds for companies, correct? That kind of a word. So investment banking, management consulting, commercial banking, huge careers are there. Then markets. Markets is all the careers in the stock market. Like all of us invest in the stock market, correct? We invest in stocks, in mutual funds. But who runs the mutual fund? There are people who run the mutual fund. So they do equity, market research, they do things like that. Insurance is a very big field. In fact, if you love math, then you should become an actuary. Actuary is a great field in the insurance area, right? Economics today has a big application. Even in fintech companies, there's so many fintech startups that are launching. They look at people with all these backgrounds. With economics, you can also go into government roles. For example, like the Indian IAS, there is Indian Economic Service. So if you do that, then you can get employed with RBI. You can employed with very other big financial institutions that are of the government. And also, if you do the commerce and MBA route, there are a lot of academic teaching roles are available because there are many MBA colleges, many premier MBA colleges are looking for good quality teachers, right? There are also analytics, PPO, KPO, Let's get to pathways for art students. I know many people think, what is scope for arts? But actually, arts has the maximum number of scope. There are all these areas, there are careers. And there are many careers like design, huge today. Today, it's very great, very difficult to get a good design person. Like gaming design, it's a big thing. There are big companies. There are 800,000 crore companies in game development. They recruit lots of people, right? So things like that. Hospitality, you've seen the boom in travel and tourism. All the world's global chains are in India, right? And they recruit a lot of people. And there are specialized degrees for it, right? Master's programs are there. Communication, broadcasting is a very big field. Not only working in companies, but also, you can be an independent professional in this. Okay. Education and sports we talked about. Psychology, big field. There are a lot of startups now which have invested money into this, and I myself have invested in a couple of startups in this phase. There's a big shortage of psychologists in schools, colleges, in workplaces, and the awareness for psychology is really growing. So if you love talking to people, and for that your personality also has to be suited. Just because you can understand psychology doesn't mean you can become a counselor, right? So things like that. Law is not about going to the court anymore. Lawyers today actually work in corporates. Corporate law is the big thing today. In fact, if you go to a good law college, um, then actually you will not typically practice law in a court that way, right? So law, economics, we talked about things like that. These are so all in all, basically, there are multiple fields available. Each of them is a career. Each of them, there could be a detailed discussion about how it suits you. So in law, I'll tell you an interesting thing. For example, at what age do you think you can become a judge? Most people think you can become a judge after 40 years of age. But actually, in Rajasthan, there is a student who's only 24 or 25 when he's a judge. Why? Because there's something called a judicial services exam. There's something called judicial services. So, like every other career, becoming a judge is like a career. Different states have slightly different rules. In Karnataka, I think you can become a judge after 29 or 30. Maybe in Telangana, I don't know what the rule is. But still, it is not that you're very old and you become a judge. You can be a 27, 28-year-old. But so if you like becoming a judge, if you're a very thinking kind of a person, if you like reading a lot of stuff, then that could be a great career for you that way, right? And for that, you need to take the right steps now. You can't just be doing some degree and then sometime in life at the age of 22 decide that I'll become a judge. No, the whole thing will not work out. So now, so we talked to you about the many careers. Yes, there are definitely fantastic careers, and many students today are actively choosing these careers because they are 21st century students. The parents also don't want to make the same mistakes that they did, and hence people today are really embracing these careers. Now, how can you do this structure? So Lodestar actually has a very structured process, and I'll take the next 5 minutes to talk about that, and then we can open it up for questions, right? Because see, there is so much of data, so many careers are there, so many colleges are there. What really suits you, and how do you assess what your personality is, how your aptitude is, what your interests are in a scientific way, right? That is where a scientific and an expert process will help you. So what do? We basically evaluate a child's personality, aptitude, and interest through scientific, psychometric, and aptitude tests. These tests are designed by experts and they've been validated over thousands of people across the globe. We match it to our data bank of 300 plus careers and we come out with the top 5 careers for your child. These careers are the best fit top 5 careers. Then we do a one-on-one discussion. We will do a in-depth discussion with you with the report and help you to narrow down from the 5 also. The 5 all already have been selected from our data bank of 300 plus careers. Then we'll discuss those careers. We'll understand the students, understand their aspirations, understand the parents' aspiration. See, sometimes a career may be very suited to the child by personality and aptitude, but you may not want to do that career for whatever reason, for family reasons, for other aspiration reasons. Child may not feel excited about it, right? So those things have to be taken care of. So it is not just that as counselors we can just prescribe something to you. So we'll help you to finalize the best career, because in any guidance it's not enough to just give some inputs. It's important to help the student to finalize. So we will help you to finalize, and then for that finalize we'll help you to decide the stream, the degree, and the right exam choice, right? So it's a three-step process. The first part is discover, where the career test you have to take. It's a 1.5 hour online test. Okay, then you get a report, which is a 7 page report with your personality and aptitude parameters, details of that. So the strength and the potential of the child you can understand, and the top 5 careers, and then the one-on-one counseling where the report is explained, and also handhold you to make the decision. Okay. So what do we test? We test all these parameters: aptitude, spatial, mechanical, numerical. We test personality. Is we test whether the child is a doer, a thinker, a creator, an organizer, a helper, like that. We test what all is actually the core vocational personality of the child. We are talk about hobbies. We talk about subjects. We'll do all that. Then the report basically gives you all this top 5 career recommendations, education path, all that it gives you. This is how the report will look. This is the vocational personality. Will tell you that the child's code is enterprising, social, and investigative. Enterprising means the child is good at convincing other people. So you should look at careers where the child can convince, like sales manager, entrepreneur, those kind of careers. Okay, social means the child can work with other people that way. So these personality codes are very, very scientific and very, very relevant, and it helps you to narrow down the right kind of career, right? See, all students are not fit for all careers. So it's a myth that I can work in any career. No, that doesn't work out. Then we'll also tell you the aptitude, which aptitude you're good at. Numerical your strength, is verbal your strength, is spatial your strength. And both these parameters are combined to then give you the career recommendations. So for example, here the top 5 career recommendations, this is just a sample report. It tells you that what is the fitment to the personality and what is the fitment to the aptitude. So this detailed fitment is given. So for example, to become a chartered accountant, your fitment is 4 stars on 5, which means there's 80% or highly suited, but the aptitude is medium. So how should you take the career, not take the career? This gets discussed in the detailed one-on-one discussion, right? And for each career, we're also given the most suitable stream, the entrance exam. So the report itself is very rich and good. But along with the report, we'll also give you some career reports to read about the top 2 careers. But along with the report, the one-on-one counseling is where the real decision. So 1 hour counseling with an expert, where the report explanation is done, discussion on the multiple careers which are shown, that will be done, what is suitable, what is not suitable, and using that we help you to actually finalize a career and the stream and the subject combination for it. So you anyway have to decide your stream and subject, so this is a powerful input for you to decide the stream and subject. Even if you've decided the stream, it is a good validation. You will get validated that, yeah, I think we're on the right path. The test also told the right path at that time. So it's a clarity you get and the proper scientific decision you get, right? So how can you sign up for this? This whole process of the test and the 1 hour counseling will cost you 2,500 rupees, inclusive of 18% of GST. So you can note our contact details here, or you can scan this QR code. You'll get a form. In the form, you just have to express your interest. Obviously, as parents and students, you have to think about it. So we just want you to express your interest. Then somebody from my team will call you up. If you have any further doubts, they'll answer the doubts about how the process will work, when to take, when to start, what happens if I cannot complete the test, many other questions. All the questions will answer. What will actually happen in the counseling and all that. We'll even share the actual sample of the report. And then you can pay and then you can decide, right? This product typically in retail, we sell it at about 3,000, 3,500 rupees. Because we're partnering with Sherwood Public School and Heritage Valley School, we have offered it at a discounted price of 2,500. Happy to extend this to you. Happy to help you in this whole journey. As a company, we are open. We are available for any questions, any this thing. So, but a structured process always helps you, right? So my suggestion is, if you really are serious about your future career, think about it. It's a small but very important step for you and your child, and you should definitely explore this. So that's where I'll pause. I think, just about on time, maybe about 10 minutes later than what we had planned, Anuj. And we'll open it up for questions. We'll be happy to take any questions on all this, right? Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Murli. What a wonderful, comprehensive explanation. And I think pretty much covers a lot. We'll, of course, open it for questions if anybody might have. And we're well within time. We have another session. So we'll take about 5 to 7 minutes for any questions that you might have. And any clarifications you need, you can type them in the chat bot and just let us know, and we'll be happy to take that on. We will also be sharing the QR code and the form and everything on WhatsApp with the parents. And I just want to add another thing for this package, and thank you for being very generous with the pricing of this that you're offering for Sherwood and Heritage. So just an additional thing now, we spoke with Lodestar extensively. I personally had one-on-one conversations with Mr. Murli and his team to understand what their ethos is, what their approach and ideology is, because it is not just about just career guidance. It is also about aligning with the value system that we have at the schools. And we
Absolutely.
found a lot of alignment with the way Mr. Murli and his team believes in. So that's why we're very happy to have them here and collaborate on this webinar. Now, for class 10 students, especially parents who sign up for this particular package, if you choose to continue with us for ISC 11th and 12th, when your admission is confirmed with us, this amount will be reduced from the amount of your fees for ISC 11th, is what we can offer from our end as well. So class 10 students who choose to sign up with Lodestar, this amount from your ISC fees, when you confirm with us your admission in 11th, we will reduce it from the fees as well. So that's a commitment that I can make. Questions?
Wow. That's a fantastic offer, Anuj. Honestly, in the last 7, 8 years, no school that I have worked with has offered that thing. That's a fantastic offer. I think that shows the kind of support that you want to extend
Thank
to
you.
students.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, so parents, I spoke for continuously for 40 minutes. Typically, when I do this session live, it's nice to interact, but really look forward to your thoughts. You can even unmute. I think we should do that also, because if you want to just
Yeah.
say any comment,
You
good,
can
bad,
raise your
ugly,
hands. We have a
yeah.
question that says after 10th or 12th, after 10th, do we need to continue 11th or 12th, or do we need to go for intermediate colleges? To which I believe
Uh,
Ramya has replied on the chat, but Mr. Murli, if you'd like to please
Yeah,
elaborate.
yeah. So see, basically, the choice between 11th and 12th and intermediate depends on the next career that you want to look at. But as Ramya has also said, it is beneficial if you continue with the same board. And the reason for continuing the same board is because there is a particular pattern of education, pattern of questions, pattern of books that you're used to. Students who jump boards and that thing, they typically take 6 months to adjust to the new board. And think about it. I talked about the competition bit. So there are like 10 lakh students writing some exam, and only 1 lakh is going to clear. Who are the 1 lakh? The 1 lakh are people who've utilized every minute in a focused way, not being confused in 11th and 12th, which is why your school is also doing the session today. See, we could have talked about this in 11th, right? And wasted time. No, we're talking about early, so that you think about it. So in that context, I think what Ramya has said is perfect. You should ideally continue in the board. But yes, for some small percentage of students, there could be specific reasons why they need to shift boards, etc. But that has to be very really connected to the next career. You should not look at these decisions independently. Any parent who says, or any school which says this board is only good, that board is only good. See, good for what? Good for the child's future, right? So every child, what they want to do, what are their abilities, you have to think about that and then connect the career that way.
If I can add on to this, Mr. Murli, if I can come in
Yeah,
here.
sure, absolutely.
Apart from the board and the academic continuation of the child, what is very important is the social environment that continues for the child as well. Especially in our school, class 10, we have a majority and a very significant percentage of students who've been with us since their primary classes. They've made
Yeah,
friends, they have social circles, they have peer groups within the class itself that they interact with. And apart from academics, environment is all, the schooling is all about the environment. So it is the
correct,
emotional environment, the social
correct,
environment, the
correct,
entire physical space that the child is already used to. Now, the moment
correct.
you take that child at that very formative age where they're faced with the burden of what career should I choose, what stream should I follow, and then put them in a different environment where the campus changes, the building changes, the people change, the teachers change. So the what they know as a safe space, the moment that changes, the child has to completely reorient themselves to a new reality. New people, new
Absolutely.
faces, new emotions, new behaviors, new campus, new ways to walk, new ways to behave, new ways to talk. And the moment that comfort zone goes away, it affects their ability to focus on studies, on concentration in various activities, because now they have limited time to figure out what they want to do ahead in life, and they have to
Correct,
relearn an entirely new behavior. So
correct,
that is another
absolutely.
reason why from 10th they must continue in the same environment to ensure their emotional safety and emotional stability and their social stability as much as
Correct,
possible.
absolutely. See, another thing I'll add is, see, yesterday we were talking to a parent. This lady is actually a entrepreneur in the education thing in Chennai. She actually built a big coaching institute thing and now she's doing something else. Her child coaching, counseling, she's come to us. The child studies 12 hours a day, right? And then the child is tired. And then she says that now we are confused whether the coaching that we're taking, she's taking coaching for NEET, whether we should do or not. Okay, I'm thinking that you already exhausted the child, right? Even before the war, which is the example. And honestly, we made thousands of students. If you are really focused, if you're motivated, you don't need to study 12 hours. I can say it with guarantee. You don't need to study 12 hours. The child who's studying 12 hours is obviously in 12 hours, 6 hours not studying, and that's why you're spending 12 hours. If you are really focused about if you like what you do, your attention span is higher, you prepare higher, and your aptitude is all suitable, you will learn. You need to work hard. So that is why, what Anuj said about the overall environment is very, very important. Give adequate time, enjoy that period also, and be in an environment where the teachers and students are supporting to you. Do some extracurriculars slightly also. Do maximum time you. That's very important. I think
There's
Mr.
one
Yeah, I
question,
think a similar question on the subject.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is ICC
yeah.
board joining state board. We've answered that. If you want to
Yeah.
prepare for competitive exams, it's better to study with syllabus aligned with
Ramya's comment.
NCERT, which what Mr. Ramya has said.
Yeah.
I also want to ask you, Mr. Murli, in this
Just one thing.
entire,
I'll just add one point
yeah, yeah,
here. I
please,
said,
please
see,
go on.
don't look at easy path, Mr. Mohammed.
Mhm.
Because easy now, will it lead to trouble later? See, today it may look like easy, that your intermediate looks, state board looks easy. Fine. Right? You will slightly get more marks also. But the competition in the world is there as it is. It's not that the state board students will get a separate entry. No, it not be like that, right? So you have to. So that's why it's better to look at what the child is motivated to do, decide that. Then your child is like a rocket. Then you don't have to follow up on your child to study. Like parents say, how do I motivate my child? No, by motivating, by connecting the child to the right career what the child wants to do. So
Mhm.
let's discover that, help that connected. Like my daughter scored high in 10th and 12th in terms of her subjects, but she didn't write engineering, medical, nothing. She's now an RJ. She works in a radio jockey. The first day of her job, she's jumping with joy. She says, "This is the job I want to do." Have you ever seen a youngster jump with joy at work? She's like at 10 o'clock in the office, she's calling us and jumping with joy. And RJ's job is very tough. She hosts the morning show, 5 hours she has to host. Very tough. But she's at it. She comes back, she works till 10 o'clock in the night. That why is she doing that? We are not forcing her to do it, no, because she loves it, right?
No, I
If
so
we had
relate
put
to
her
that.
in law or something else,
Hmm.
there should have been one dull lawyer dragging herself to work. Yeah,
I was
Anuj,
one
you
of
were
the first private FM RJs in Hyderabad. I was part of the team that
fantastic.
started Radio City in Hyderabad. So I hosted a
Fantastic.
radio show for
Lovely.
2 years, and I know how exciting it was to just get up and go switch on the mic and talk to the whole city. But here
Yes.
I am, leading two wonderful schools
Yeah.
that my parents started. So that's a different discussion. But I think we're a little tight on time, so we'll share all the information with the parents. And thank you so much for everyone for joining. Thank you, Mr. Murli, Ms. Ramya, for your valuable insights. I think we can all agree that this hour has given us a lot to think about. Uh, for our students, of course, it's a reminder that the future is wide open and that there are endless possibilities now than ever before. And for our parents, of course, it's reassurance that children don't need to fit into old boxes. They can create their own paths confidently and successfully if we guide them with awareness and clarity and trust. Career planning is not about choosing a subject or a college. It's about having a child discover who they are, what kind of life they want to build. And that process begins with sessions like these ones. And thank you for all the work that you're doing. At our school, of course, needless to say, we believe that education should prepare children for life, not just exams. Academic excellence is very, very important, extremely important, but a whole life skill that children develop and a process of thinking is a lot longer term, is a lot more beneficial. So whatever a child chooses to pursue, whether it is a passion project, it's a 9 to 5 job, or even sports or entrepreneurship or research, everything has its own challenges and rewards. And I think you specialize in giving them clarity about how to navigate through those and choose the right one and build the foundation for what they're able to sustain without stress.
Correct.
Success follows happiness and not the other way around. So,
Correct.
so yeah. So to all our students, keep exploring. We will share the contact details of Lodestar as well if there are any questions that you might want to ask them and clarify before you sign up. But we would highly recommend that you go through this structured scientific process. So thank you, Lodestar. Thank you, Ms. Murli, Ms. Ramya, and your team, and everyone for joining. Have a wonderful weekend ahead, and we'll see you soon for more sessions like these. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Anuj and team, for the opportunity. I think lovely talking to your parents. All the best, parents and students. Thank
Thank you.
you.